Remember this, the moment you give up is the moment you let someone else win.
You're about to watch a documentary you won't find anywhere else. This is a Major Plus senior softball at full speed and the lives that power it. We open the clubhouse door and pull back the curtain at home, family, faith, and the team psyche that turns teammates into brothers. You'll laugh at the dugout banter, you'll feel the sting of loss, and you'll understand why audience have stood and cheered at the end. This release is dedicated to the memory of one of the greats, Jack Aronson, our strongman. His spirit is in every swing, every huddle, and in the work that reaches far beyond the field, building wells in the Dominican Republic, donating thousands of pieces of gear, and changing young lives. Welcome to the Extra Innings, a study of grit, grace, and champion's heart. Enjoy. For those of you who didn't know Jack, I found a little clip that tells it all about this big guy. I miss this guy.
Doing a little talking, man.
Honor to you, Jack.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what's going on today.
All right.
So what do you think, Jack? What's up about today, man? You excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited, but I don't know what's going on today.
We're christening the well. The well.
Oh, good,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
We're just following Ed Rose into action.
Yeah.
We're the troops, man. This is our general right here.
Well, let me tell you what. I think Cassius Clay said that. Well, wait. Let me get this straight.
Ali?
Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I guess I should say Muhammad Ali.
Probably did by
Muhammad Ali says that service to others is the rent that we pay for our time on earth. Well, I'm going to tell you what. This guy right here, his rent is paid up in full for a long time.
They just charged me again at the front desk.
For what?
I'm just kidding.
Listen,
You don't look that bad.
hey, let me tell you something. If these two guys want to get in shape, look, here, tell them to take a couple of laps around those.
Take a couple laps around this, right? That's right. Lap around it.
Yeah.
Raj, you're the best, man. I love you.
Raj, you ain't that bad, buddy. You look good when you next to him.
Need about 10 or 12 more pounds going on.
John's the benchmark.
What are you down? About 20? All overall 18.
Wait a minute.
When I was younger, most people thought life was over at 50. And, I kind of thought that old people sat around, played pinochle, and the real smart ones played bridge. Now here I am at 67, and I'm chasing my dreams. You know what they say, to each their own. And this is how I roll right here.
Even for me, when you think about it, it does seem like somewhat of a joke. The reality is that it does.
When I tell people, they're like, what are you talking about? People don't play softball at that age.
A lot of people are surprised at the level that these guys can still play at.
A bunch of guys who do not give up. Not in life, not in sports, they do not give up.
It's labeled senior softball strictly because of the age requirements, but these guys are by no means seniors.
They don't just retire and say, well, I'm out of here and let me go. They have to have a purpose. I think every guy needs a purpose, and I think senior softball is about that. It's about being a team, it's about accomplishments, and being the best you can be at any age.
You honestly can look at these guys and say,
No, age really is just a number. Look at them out there running and kicking butt and taking names. I mean, you know, just running their hearts out and hitting those balls like crazy and everything, and it's awesome.
These guys are in the top physical condition. I mean, they look great. They're out there running these bases better than 25-year-olds would, having a good time, acting like teenagers. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of hard work. These guys are dedicate their entire lives to this.
You like it, let him know. Let him know.
Here we are, we're in Las Vegas at the largest tournament in the country. 9 of the best teams. There's 450 teams here, and we're in the top division. This is the dream we're chasing this year, is to win this for 2 years in a row. We won it last year undefeated. They're all gunning for us from the beginning. This is the preliminary rounds, so we just got to pick it up and you know, go for it, man. So let's see what happens.
Hollis on 3! 1, 2, 3!
Hollis on 3!
And rock and roll right now. Let's go. Come on, Eddie. Come on. Get on base any way you can. Good eye. Good eye. Make him work. Yes! Yes!
There's the home run, guys. There's the home run.
Let's go now! Come on! Put on the Hollis show now. Drive through it. I love that confrontational shit.
It's underhand, slow pitch. It's trying to hit a round ball with a round bat. It's not as easy as it looks. I'm still learning. It took me 15, 16 years to learn how to hit a softball, and I'm still 50-50 now.
Well, senior softball is like a big fraternity, and the major plus division, what we play in, is kind of a dying breed because nobody really wants to step up and play the best they can play. A lot of teams want to sandbag down, play lesser competition so that they can win a trophy. We want to beat the best. If we're the best, we beat the best. That's what we want to do.
You know, you're playing off memories. You meet a bunch of good guys. You try to keep it mild and calm. You get kind of feisty at times, but it's one of the best moves that I've ever made in my life.
Well, we're here Saturday morning, and now the tournament starts. You know, we had 2 preliminary games. We looked all right. In this league, anybody can beat you. So, you know, score 30 runs. We're going to need 30 runs a game today to win.
Because I told him, I said, yeah, I made that turn, and I'm thinking, should I go home?
I would have loved to seen you try. You'd have died halfway in there. You'd had a heart attack. You ain't never run that far in 10 years, man.
The law is you got to clear the intersection before it turns red.
No, you have to clear it. You have to clear it when it's red. It's the same thing. You come up on a yellow light and you're waiting for him to come through. You're going to go left. You're waiting.
No, that's different. If you're waiting, but if you're coming through an intersection and light turns
same
yellow,
thing.
you got to clear the intersection.
I had some legend fun last night after when I got home.
Oh, dude.
That wasn't me, man. It was my wife.
Come on, man.
This is the most important game of the tournament. It is. Don't look ahead. Hey, one game at a time. Don't take anybody for granted, guys.
Yeah.
Let up. No letting up.
Let's these up for making us get up this early.
Now that's a speech for you. Hollis on 3! 1, 2, 3!
Hollis!
Come on now, let's go! Let's get our 7. Beginning of the battle! Beginning of the battle! Let's go! Oh, shit.
Attaboy! That's really right there, guys!
Somebody get a bat in their hand.
Let's get back in this thing. Let's go.
Hey, just relax.
I'm not going to do it with the gloves the way it looks.
Attaboy, Ed!
This is what storybooks are made of, boy.
There you go, baby. Yeah! Let's not talk about it in the hotel later. Let's do it now.
Right here, right here.
Besides, I'm not in your hotel anyway. I got nobody to talk to.
And there it is. Left hand. Walk off.
That's it, baby. That's one of the best wins, man. Are you kidding me? You are the best. You just took Patty's job. No, you're both the best. You know what? Good job, man.
Hey guys, we love talking, guys. I gotta go take my heart medicine.
I don't think. No. You look like you're. Wait a minute, I have to think about this. Okay. Just keep my ear. Wait a minute. Get your Okay, you can pull the thing off now. Here we go. Oh, see, we had to get the sling. Oh my God. Oh my gosh! That was an ordeal. I'm worn out. You're worn out.
We gotta go right now. Right now. Get out!
Just start getting a little swagger like we're good instead of like we're lucky. Start getting a little swagger like we're good. We got our names on our shirts. You know we're good.
That's probably the worst game, the first game this morning I've ever seen us play. I've never seen just routine fly balls drop because we got great players. I believe the good Lord touched us today, man, because we had every opportunity to lose, but a great team finds a way to win, and I think we've got a great team. You know, we found a way to win. Doesn't matter how ugly it is, a win's a win.
If we'd lost that game this morning, it would have been a disaster for us, that first game, because we're kind of expected to be first or second, at least in this tournament. And if we'd lost that game, we don't have enough energy to come back.
The thing that we all forget is we're playing the best 9 teams in the United States in the 60 division. They're going to be close. If the younger group could see the players that were on the field today in the 60s, they would never believe how great a physical shape they're in, how well they can run, how well they can hit, and how hard they play and the effort they put into the game.
Zipper club guy.
Zipper club.
Yeah,
the zipper club.
What is that? Surgery? Oh, they're hard.
Heart surgery.
Wow.
Imagine if I didn't get. Imagine how much power I lost when I got zipped.
Imagine how much I picked up. Because I got my heart right.
This is what you get with intestinal tract disorder.
Oh, this is what old people do, is show their scars. You guys are officially old people.
I know. This is a day, if you look around, what a beautiful day. It's one we've never seen before. And listen, it's one we'll never see again. So let's make the most of it, guys. Every day at our age, let's make the most of every day. Hey, we're here. Like Aldi said, let's play hard, man. Let's have some fun today. Heck, we'll come out high energy, and that's how we play the best. We don't play the best when everybody flattens out and worried about that. Let's have some fun, guys. We're in the finals here, the winner's bracket finals. Let's have some fun. Lord Jesus, we come to you on your day, Father. We thank you for this day, Father. We thank you for the air we breathe, Father, for our jobs, our used-to-be jobs, our retirement, Father, our families. Father, we just thank you for everything good that happens in our life, Father. We pray that these two men Ed mentioned, Father, we probably know they're up there with you, Father. We just know that's where we're all trying to get when it's all said and done. We just don't want to get there too fast. Hold us off. Father, forgive us where we fail you, Father. Help us to play the best of our ability today, Father. Help us to play like the team we can be. Pick each other up and help us to put you first in everything we do in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Hollis on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hollis!
You're telling me what I should have did, okay?
That's what happens. Just little things like that cost you a game. Everybody thinks they're a damn coach. I'm the coach that's been on more winning teams than anybody in the nation.
I'm checking every word you're saying.
You better be.
You got a rip in your pants. Crutch. Huh?
You looking? Why you always looking?
I couldn't help but notice, man.
Where? Under here? You can't notice? You're looking down there? Huh? Hey. I gotta watch Monty. You know he's got a hole in my britches.
I just noticed that my coach has a hole in his crotch. Oh, am I allowed to say that on TV? No, big game, man. We got to come out smoking, just like we've been playing. 5-0, we're doing well. I hope we keep it up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the finals of the Las Vegas Nationals, led by the star pitcher, Chip Krieger, and long ball hitting Dave Reed.
What the f***?
That's right. It's not what they do, it's what we do. Hey, come on, everybody stay up.
Here, we either find out what we're made out of. Now, that first 4 tournaments of the year, we were the world's greatest team, and then we sucked for two tournaments, all right? And I think we're the world's greatest team. We're going to have to prove it right now. You got to play one stinking game to be the world champions. One stinking game. Now, let's give it your best. Give it your heart, okay?
We got one game to prove who we are and who's the best.
Fight
On
for
3.
this, guys.
1, 2, 3. House! Guys our age, we got to have things to go for, you know, to keep those blood and those juices going. I kind of have a different way to look at things too. You know, I think it's back to the primitive days when men were warriors. Out there on the field, that's a war for us. They're our buddies on the other side. We love all those guys, man. But when we're on the battlefield, you know, it's a battle. Yes, it's a game, and then when it's over, we're friends. Sometimes we get angry. Your team is your team. That's our culture. That's who we are. And that's the fun of it, man. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have the opportunity to be up with bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the inning. You know, when you're in that situation and you perform, it's great. And when you don't, it just gives you more motivation to get better and do it again. It's that emotion that we're looking for, that emotion that we drive for. And everybody on this team loves that.
You gotta quit, man. My arm is, I'm throwing about 500 freaking balls. I don't do that on purpose. Here, get off.
Oh, man.
I do it to you. Why the hell are you doing it to me? Bobby, don't take that. Come on. Don't take it. Good enough, Bobby. You know that. I understand what you're saying.
That's what it takes sometimes. A little bit of chippiness gets these guys going. It's amazing with all these type A personalities what happens.
Too many A
you know, it's like running a zoo sometimes, you know what I mean? You got to keep the animals apart.
We got to get 7. We change the whole mode. Let's go.
Get him out. Oh, Jack. All right, good try.
Ah, 2 years in a row! World champion, 2 years in a row. Write that down, signed, sealed, and delivered.
The 8 best teams on the planet were playing, and we were very, very fortunate to pull this out. This is not your typical sit-back 60-year-olds, 65-year-olds that don't want to do anything. These are competitive guys that want to still compete, and they compete in everything. We're getting ready to go to a buffet. Guess what? We're going to be competing in the buffet against one another, see who can eat the most roast or something like that. That's just the way these guys are. You got to understand, to win this award, to win the championship, was really a struggle and hard to do, okay? So just bear that in mind. We weren't kidding here. We were playing our hearts out to try to win this thing. And I'm really proud of this group and what they've accomplished.
Ready, everybody. Don't blink, look at me. I know, I'll be quick, I know. Oh, short pitch inside. I think I still got enough of it. Get out of here.
Yes, sir. The key to my success lies in this baby right here. Oh, take me home.
Well, now I'm going to be honest with you. When you're 47, 48, 49 years old, and somebody says you want to play senior softball, the first thing that goes off in your mind is, no, I'm not a senior, okay? Because you think of seniors when you're 47, 48, or 49 is somebody 75 years old. But the actual category starts at 50.
And I've got buddies of mine up north that I used to play with, that, were good players, and they don't know anything about senior softball. And I've talked to a few of them here and there, and they say, you're playing softball? Well, come on, what do you guys limp around, and then you get to first base and you have a beer, and then, and then you take your wheelchair to second. And I said, no, it's a little different than that.
Keep going. Hold it. You got it. You got it.
Hi, Mom. Send money.
We went out west, nobody said we could go out west and beat the western teams because there's so many of them, and there's so many more people in California and the Arizona area, and there's so many more of our seniors, so many more retirees, and we went out there and kicked their butts. They've come back, they've merged teams together, they've added guys in, they've got some new people. It's going to be great in Vegas. It's going to be a shootout. I mean, it ain't going to be easy to win in Vegas this year. It's going to be tough. We know that. But that's okay. Hey, we got 3 new guys too. So get your horses, we'll get our horses, and we'll have a pull-off. We'll see who can do it. So we're not afraid. We're not intimidated about that. We want to go play the best. And why? Because we think we're the best.
Patty Mac, that's my boy. He's a lot bigger than me and a lot better looking. He's a motivator. People love Patty Mac. He's just a country boy. Patty Mac, great hitter, 900 hitter at times. He's had a rough year this year because he got a torn meniscus and he's gone through a lot of medical problems. But that's what extra innings is all about, man. You fight through that.
Honestly, my first impression, I thought he was kind of he was a little pompous ass a little bit.
I'll show you. First pitch, I'll show you what a girl swings like. I drill you right in that forehead one time. Oh! That's what she said. You're not very good under pressure.
When we get together, if we don't, rub each other's face in the dirt 3 or 4 times, we're just not having a good time.
Anytime I had a boyfriend brought him home, it was always the talk of the crowd. Have you met Krista's dad? He is huge. Do not mess with her. He is very intimidating.
He's the first one to jump up and tell a story, and always tell a story that will motivate people.
He is a big encourager, and that's just his all-around just love for life and for everybody, for his family, for his friends, for his team.
If he gets quiet, there's a problem. So yeah, he's never ever quiet. I mean, he's constant. Doesn't matter how bad they're losing or whatever. He said there's always the next hit. We just got to hit and we got to win.
Nobody quits. Hey, nobody quits over here. Let's go.
He offers to go on field trips. If there's mother or daddy things that we can't be there for because of work or whatever, he's there. He was the most amazing dad. He's an amazing softball player, but he is the best grandfather. I'm not sure if this is too personal, maybe, and my sister may have said the same thing, but he's not really our dad.
Anybody can be a biological father. It takes a real person, a real special person, a real man to step up and do what Pat's done. They call him Dad, and to be honest with you, I doubt very seriously if they ever think about their biological one.
Oh, yeah, will that go out of a 300? I think it will. I think it will. Not bad for a one-legged man, huh?
I just think it's amazing that these guys, what they put into this, and it really is not a joke. I mean, it is a big deal to all of them, and I think it's great, and I think he should do it as long as he can.
I'm 2 months from retiring after 38 years. I've been with the school system. I get up a certain time every morning, I do this, I take the shower, I shave, I do this, and when all that's going to change, so, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'll be able to go eat lunch with my grandkids and pick them up from school and take them to ball practice and stuff, so all things grandpas do. I'm really looking forward to that.
What you doing, baby?
I lost my best friend in the world June 1st to be 20 years ago. That was my brother. My brother died when he was 43, and he was the most healthy person in the world, man. He runs 7 miles every day, played college football, had headaches, went to his doctor on a Monday. His doctor sent him to have an MRI on Tuesday. Thursday, he had a meeting with a neurosurgeon. That neurosurgeon told him, he said, you've got a tumor that goes here to here. And he says, we got to have surgery immediately. And my brother said, well, when is that? And they said, Saturday. This happened in a week's time. And he said, you need to do tomorrow, Friday, see all your family. He said, there's a 50% chance you're not going to live through the surgery. And you need to get a will. And so that kind of brought life into perspective for me. Man, I enjoy every day. I enjoy every breath I take. I try to stay up late, and I try to get up early. So, because when you're sleeping, I'm not aware of what's going on. I want to know what's going on most of my life, the rest of my life. You know, I hope I can stay healthy for a while and just hang around and aggravate my wife some and be good to my kids and my grandkids.
That part of his life has been nothing but an inspiration. As sad as it is, he finds the positive in it.
I wasn't a mean person, but I was aggravated at the world. I didn't understand. I was hurt. He was my best friend. And a lot of times I just go sit on the back porch by myself. I didn't want to be around the girls. I didn't want to be around her. And she just finally had enough. She said, I'm done with this. I'm not living like this. About a year into it, she said, we got divorced. It was my fault. I just wasn't the man I should have been. I wasn't the husband. I wasn't the dad. We got back together, and we've been together ever since. We got remarried, and my brother's death didn't cause that, but what I went through in my life caused that. I thought depression was just something people made up. You know, well, I can get over that. I wasn't getting over it. I mean, Teresa had left me, and you know, I'm out there, and I'm just like, I could cry or I could choke somebody. I mean, everything was wound up together. You know, it was a lot of emotion, and I've tried to be more like my brother since then, be more laid back and listen more and smile more and be more understanding, and I've tried since then to be the best husband, best dad, especially the best grandfather. You know, I want Peyton, all my grandkids to remember me like I feel about my grandfather. I mean, when he passed, it was like losing a dad, you know. And so my legacy, I want my family to say, he was always there for us, you know. So that's what that's about.
We're visiting, guys. They called it. No, I called it. It was a rig toss. Everybody up here. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hollis.
Boy, Doc. I don't want to time that pitch.
Man, don't put that
What
on.
inning are we in?
The real thing about senior softball, besides the competition, I'm going to be very, very honest with you, is the people. These guys are all the same age. They came up in the same environments, knew the same songs. They were influenced by the same things that occurred in the country. And so we have this commonality that when we get together, we know what each other went through.
Back then, you know, times were different, and all my softball buddies, we'd tell these stories to each other. You got in a fight or something at school, you went up and the principal says, you want the licks or you want me to call your dad? And you just say, yeah. I said, my handprints was on the wall at the principal's office. I knew what, nowadays you get arrested by a resource officer and you get cuffed and you get assault charge. You know, it's just things are so much different. And those guys all relate
the way we grew up. Our mom and dad said get outside and stay outside, and you found things to do. You didn't have to entertain. You didn't sit in the house and watch TV, you know, and so all these guys relate to that.
When Evel Knievel jumped the Snake River Canyon, you say that to a 20-year-old, they don't have a clue. But you say that to a 60-year-old and they're like, yeah, I remember that, you know, well, hey, I happened to be there that day. John Wayne, people don't know who John Wayne is. I mean, we see a lot of things like that. You know, I watched the program the other day, The Rifleman. Hey, I was 7 years old the first time I saw that. It made an impression on me. I wanted to shoot a rifle like The Rifleman, right? You know, when I say The Rifleman or Sky King or Fury or any of these type things, to somebody my age, they know exactly what I'm talking about because they came up at the same time and they were watching the same things on TV and they experienced the same thing. So that commonality is just really cool to have.
All right, Bobby, pitch him hard, baby. I know it did.
Get a Hollis inning right here. Let's go.
Ah, let's go. Come here, Jack. Turn it. Hey. We gotta have seven. We gotta have seven right now.
Let's face it, it's like you take a time, the sand clock, and you flipped it over. And we can see where our life's going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you know, we're in our 60s. So if we're a calendar, we're in October, okay? You know,
damn,
we're in October, and so your priorities change. I mean, I've always been an aggressive, hard-charging businessman. We're trying to do this, we're trying to build, we're dragging everybody with us. But when it really comes down to it, what do you have at the end of your life? Yeah. And then it comes back to what you were talking about, the dash. What does the dash mean?
Yeah,
what's between that birth and what's between that death?
I guarantee you that never ran a football because I was a great running back. Get that on a camera. That I bet you he never played a sport but tennis or quates his whole life. Now he's running around like he's super man.
Chip has a big heart too. He just, doesn't like to show it. He's one of the tough guys. Chip's a great ball player. I mean, pound for pound, one of the best, if not the best hitter on our team. I love Chip, man. Chip's a great guy. He's a man of his word. And, Chip could have went with a lot of the teams, and he chose to go with us.
My name is Charles Krieger, but I'm known as Chip Krieger. I'm 64 years old. I've been playing softball probably 40-some years. I started playing softball, I'm going to say 1972. In New Jersey, I still play with the younger kids. I still play with 20-year-old guys, 30-year-old guys. I'm fortunate that I can hit, so I can still play with these guys. And they are, in all, pretty respectful. But they'll come up to me and they'll go, what about, that senior team and this and that. How many guys can hit like you? I'm like, I just look at them like, because you're a idiot. Like, there's a lot of guys who can hit like me. I mean, if I was all that, I'd have my own TV show, right? Like Ed Sullivan had his own TV show. He couldn't do anything. I could do more than Ed Sullivan. So the thing is that, I just look at him and I say, well, these are the best players in the country. Yeah, I like to think I'm one of those guys, but I'm not the only guy. There's a lot of great senior softball players. I've been in the car business since 1971, which me and my father started. My father mostly started. At that age, I was pretty much just somebody that got in the way, f***ed everything up. My dad was a big-time race car driver. He raced the Daytona 500. He raced Darlington. He raced all them big races, which they're now called Winston Cup drivers. So at that time, he was a legitimate Grand National driver. When I was 17, I started racing cars myself, modifieds. I raced against some big-time race drivers, Jeff Bodine, Ron Bouchard, guys that made it big. I raced for like 4 or 5 years. My mother was always complaining to my dad, possibly I could get hurt seriously, so my father just told me, I can't take it anymore. He had heart problems, my dad. He had bypass surgery twice, and his heart just, eventually it gave out, I had open heart surgery in 2008. Actually, they call it, medical term is bypass coronary surgery, but to us and everybody else, it's you're getting slit. I had it done the next day. And Tuesday, I went home. I'm not saying hey, everybody go out and get open heart surgery, but all I can tell you is like they've come a long way, because I remember seeing my dad. He had his done in Temple, and he was all wired up, and phew, it's a real, real check on your brain when you see your dad, any of your family member laying there like that with wires coming out everywhere, And if I didn't get that check, I probably could have just, popped. So I was very lucky, and I had no, knock on wood, I had no heart damage. So I was very fortunate. So that's the deal with that. Now that you had to bring that up, you're miserable.
Roger Tabor, he's probably one of the most helping guys on the team. A lot of guys don't know this, but he'll call me up and say, Ed, I want you to do this and this for that guy, but don't tell him I'm doing it. Great teammate, a good player. Sometimes you don't get the ball you probably should, but that's all right, man. I mean, you know what I tell the guys when we lose a game? Okay, we lost, guys, but I'm glad I'm on this team with you. And I'm glad Rogers is on this team.
Now let's go. Come on, gotta have it. Let's go. Audie started. Let's go, bud.
How he is on the field is how he is in life. He is everyone's biggest fan, biggest supporter, biggest cheerleader. It's such a blessing that he's so close to us, and that I'm able to see my kids grow up around him.
If there were any times that there was, a shortage of money, or they were struggling to make ends meet, as kids, we never knew it. He did not want us to know that. When he was a child, he knew a lot of that kind of thing. So he has always kind of sheltered us in a way that it was adult business. It didn't need to be worried about by kids.
You're just trying to keep yourself going.
My husband, along with all the other guys out there on the field, give it 110%, no matter what age he is or whatever, he still gives it his all. That's the only way he knows how to play.
For many, many years, we've heard that he was going to retire. And he retired for a little while, and then would come out and play. And then he would retire a little bit, but he couldn't stay away from it, because it was really his passion.
When people ask me, how are you enjoying retirement? I haven't even, that's not even, I don't even know what that is now. I can't believe how long the days are. And I'm sitting around the house and do what I do around the house, and then about noontime I'm going home. And I'm waiting for my wife to get home from school, because she teaches school, and it's like a little kid going, oh, my mommy's going to be home at 2:30, and I'm just about over that. So it's strange,
I think it's going to be an adjustment to just kind of figure out, okay, I can step back and relax and enjoy this part of life and go fishing if I want to, and that's a good thing.
He's not one to just, sit around and not have something going on, something to do. So I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out.
I do something every single day of my life that is directed toward playing softball. Something that I do, whether it's run 3 miles on the beach, whether it's come home and play that game, whether it's go to the gym, whether it's to go hit, I do something every day of my life that pertains to the game.
Right now, let's go. Come on, gentlemen. Right now, guys.
We do live longer now. When you get to be 75 or 80 years old, which is not a long time down the road from me, I don't want to be hobbling around. I just do not want to be that way. Now that I've reached my age, I look around and see guys every day that are my age, that are barely getting up and down. Keep your mind active and your body active, because if you shut either one of them down, you're done. Go into your local towns and see the 30 and 40-year-olds out playing games. I'll tell you something, you would be shocked at how many times we would go take those guys to school.
She marks him. Next game, next game.
Right before he gets there, you throw it.
Is that what you do?
2 to 1. See, boom, 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 boom. See? All right. Somebody give me some chainsaws or 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah, that's it. When the guy's throwing it.
you're maxed out at 3, I'm sure.
There's got to be a technique to it, though.
Hey,
Come
he's
on, let's get him.
juggling damn balls, and we're losing the damn game out there. That's big boss man for you. He's a knucklehead.
You need to have me in there playing
He's a
defense.
knucklehead. Yeah, he needs to be in playing defense. He hadn't seen his glove. Someone stole it. Did us a favor.
Wow.
Ed and Audie are kind of a dynamic duo. Ever since they got together, they've had the same vision of building, the greatest softball team, in the country, which they've done, obviously, just winning championship after championship. But also now they're spreading a lot of good everywhere with their kind of, mission trips and their charity programs.
I never get in a fight with an ugly man because he's got nothing to lose.
And that's why nobody fights
That's why I
Ed
don't
Rose.
fight him. Yeah.
Audie is the peacemaker, and Ed is like the Tasmanian devil. And he just spins around and makes stuff happen, and Audie kind of comes around and does damage control, because, I'm sure Ed might have offended somebody. I know it's hard to imagine. So he might have stepped on a few toes, and then Audie will come out, and then he'll be the person to pat the guy on the back and say, hey, he didn't really mean it. Here's what he really meant to say.
That guy needs a haircut.
There's a lot lost in translation with Ed's presentation, but that's kind of, what you gotta love about Ed and appreciate, and he adds a little flavor to everything. But together, they complement each other so well, and I think that's why they've been able to get such amazing results, because they are a great team.
Some people live to play, and I enjoy playing, but I don't love softball. But what I enjoy is putting a team together that can go out and win.
So let's show up in the morning, man. Let's really kick some butt here and hit it in the high gear, right? You with me? Everybody in. Let's do it, right?
Most of the top players seem to be hard to manage types, seem to be type A personalities.
Look, we got egos on this team. Everybody's got egos. We wouldn't have a good team. Everybody on this team is the top 4 batters on any other team in the state. So a guy that's 4th may have to bat 8. I mean, if you want to be on a great team, you got to do what you got to.
With Ed Rose, who came into the organization, Ed's a type A personality. So Ed will get up in your face, and he'll scream, and he'll yell, and he'll do whatever he's got to. And so the end result is we put together, I think, a winning formula.
That's some clutch hitting right there.
Come on. Hello, boy, Chipper!
That's the best
We expect to win every game. I mean, we don't want to just win, we want to dominate. Why? Because we want these guys who are great players to show their greatness every time. And if we do that, majority of the time we win. But if we don't win, it does hit hard.
Jack Aronson. Jack is a ball player, can really hit the ball. I mean, he's hit 18 balls out of Detroit Tiger Stadium. A guy with a big heart, adds a lot of spirit to the team, and besides giving us a lot of healthy food. That Garden Fresh Salsa stuff is really good. But Jack is a leader, and he's a great teammate. He is the only guy that brings his own pitcher and hits 100 balls between games. Now, most people I would tell, you shouldn't be doing that. Jack, you shouldn't be doing it. But I don't say that to Jack because pretty much he's not going to listen to me. He's ecstatic about being on our team. And to be honest with you, we're ecstatic that he's on our team, not only for the ball playing reasons, but because he fits so well into our chemistry and our game plan to help others.
People go, man, why, come on, you're 60, when are you going to slow down, I like to do 10-mile bike ride in the morning, about an hour and 10 minutes of strength training. Middle of the day on the rowing machine, 500 pulls. Then I like to hit a couple hundred softballs. Not every day, but twice a week. And my friends think I'm nuts. And one day I want to do this. I want to take 500 swings. And on once I get to 500, I want to hit a home run, then I'll be done. I want to see if I can still hit a home run after 500. The most I've ever hit is 325 or 350. But I want to do a 500 one day. And that's just strictly ego. But maybe I'll show my kids and they'll say, look at this guy. I don't know if they'll think I'm very athletic or I'm just crazy, maybe a little bit of both.
The way that he approaches life is just an inspiration. Jack is a man that is bigger than life itself.
He has a huge heart, and everybody loves him, especially me.
There's so many stories about my dad, giving to others. That is my dad to a T.
He likes to give. He'll give you the shirt off his back each and every day.
Every time that one door closed, they found a way to open something else. And if it didn't open for them, they went and pushed. I think just growing up, it was such a good learning lesson for us that you just have to keep trying. If you don't have the skills, you find the skills. You find someone that can help you and not be afraid of asking someone for help.
Every player paid their own way to come up here and play for the Boys and Girls Club, and I appreciate every one of you guys.
Well, we started out, of course, in the restaurant, and the restaurant business is very tough, as everybody who has ever worked in the restaurant will know. And we sort of fell into the salsa business. It fell into our laps pretty much, and we just kind of went with it. And we didn't plan on having this company the way it is today. It just happened. We've been very fortunate. Like I said, what goes around comes around. Things will come back to you if you are good to others.
I think the biggest compliment we get is from our friends that have known us 30 years that say, one thing is you got this great business, you're doing phenomenal, but you guys haven't changed. You haven't changed from the day I met you 30 years ago. And I think that's a big compliment, that you don't forget where you come from. You don't feel like you're more important than anybody. And I don't. I want the people, our team at Garden Fresh, we have 435. And I never want them to feel that I'm more important than they are in a room. They get as much respect that they give me, I give them, because without them we couldn't have this business. So I think we're fortunate to have that mindset, and we're fortunate to have the means to do it.
I can see it even in my kids, where they look to what can we help someone with, whether it's just being encouraging to someone or a pat on the back or trying to help in some way. That's, we definitely have learned from him.
A month and a half ago, I'm driving home from the gym in Florida, and a guy's standing on top of a bridge on the railing. Now, it's only about that wide, and he's standing there, and he's looking down into the water. And I go over the bridge, and I go, what a knuckleheader. I thought he was a risk taker maybe. So I go over and I'm thinking, nobody's stopping, and that's sort of, I'm trying to pass it on to the other guy. Is somebody going to stop up there and see if he's okay? And I'm driving, I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and nobody stops. And the old cartoon, devil, angel. The little guy over here saying, he's just probably just a risk taker. And you are hungry, and you are sweaty, and it's a beautiful day, you want to get home. So that's part of, it's our conscience. And the other half is, man, that's somebody's son up there. You should at least find out, if he's okay. And I pull up to him on the bridge, and I'm 10 feet away, and I say, hey buddy, you okay? And he turns around and looks at me, and I go, can I take you out, can I get you some lunch? He just turns back and stares down in the water. Now the cars are coming over, I'm about ready to get rear-ended as they're honking, and nobody else is stopping, which is, irritating. So I pull down the bottom of the bridge, down there by the grass, and I pull over, and I'm trying to get a fishing boat's attention about this guy up here in case he jumps. But I call 911 just in case. I get on the phone with 911 with the deputies, and they say, can you keep an eye on him? Where are you? And he's still there, and she's keeping me on the phone, and I've told her where to go, and of course it's seemed like forever, and I'm trying to get a fishing boat. And then I hear some commotion, and I go, he's not there. And she goes, they've got him. But what I'm thinking is, this guy's a risk taker, and he's just standing up there, probably does it every Sunday morning, and the poor guy just got him arrested. And that's the end of that, because I drove away. 2 weeks later I come back, and I told my neighbor about it when I got home. And June, my neighbor, says, you're a hero. And I go, how come? She goes, it was on the news the next day. In Hollis County, he was going to commit suicide. He had just broken up with his girlfriend and had lost his job. And he fought with the deputies, but when he got to the hospital, he thanked them for saving his life. So, first of all, I was glad I didn't get him arrested, meaningfully, but My daughter on Father's Day just did a really nice post about, her being her hero. That's the most important thing, that they appreciated it, because that's what you want your kids to do, not to be oblivious to what's going on. And I almost was. I went past this guy. So the biggest thing for me, and my kids picked up about it, is to realize things, what's going around you. Give people an extra thought, because I would have been devastated if that news story was this guy killed himself, and myself along with 1,000 others just drove by.
These men that are in their 60s are true champions. Each and every one of them have been through trials, tribulations, and tests. It's their testimony. So now they have this platform that they could truly sell hope. And to sell hope over 60 is that it's not over until he says it's over. And they're truly being a living example of finishing strong.
I played with players that they're not going anywhere unless the sponsor pays for them and they get extra treatment, they get this and that. I'm with 14, 15 guys, and the other 2 had prior engagements. Everybody on the team paid their own way to come up to a place that's gotten pretty bad publicity. It's amazing. These guys, I love these guys for what they've done. I've only been on 4 tournaments. I feel like I've known these guys my whole life. It's gotten me excited again about softball, for all the right reasons.
If the game does not end before darkness, we will have to give some of the players a ride home. They can't all drive at night. So any volunteers can just see me here at the broadcast station.
As a group that we just played today, you're talking about a group of Hall of Famers, is what you're talking about. You're talking about a group of guys that have been doing this game since the early 20s, minimum, all the way up to where they are right now. And the thing about age and the thing about time, you get better with your fundamentals. Everything comes a little bit easier to you when it comes to the game. You're just a smarter ball player. They're the beneficiaries of that knowledge. They put it together, and you see what they're doing. Because unfortunately, we had to be the other side of that butt kicking today. But that's because it's a direct reflection on what they've given to the game.
Number one, they're amazing players, but bottom line is they're amazing people. The way they carry themselves, not only on the ball diamond, but in the journey of life, is something that will stay with me forever. I had the chance to watch these guys have a great time today, from the moment they hit the field to the moment the last player took their last swing and walked off. And the thing that will always stay with me about Team Hollis is the quality of these guys. What they're doing in communities as they connect and make a difference. It's something that will never leave me. I may never meet one of them or see one of them again, but I can tell you what they did today will always leave an impression on me, will always be with me, and in our community, in our Boys and Girls Club, it will always stay true.
Audie Hollis, he has become, one of my best friends, and what he brings to the team, obviously he's the heart behind the team, or the brains, I don't know, you probably want to say the brains. He's one of these guys that sacrifices for the team. It's kind of why I coach, because I want to get him in more than he would put himself in.
To play on that top level, this is what I got to do. I can't play because of my foot speed, and I can't play because of my defense. The reason I can play is because I got power, and I can hit the ball hard. And there's a place for me on that team. But I'm competing against every other big, strong man out there. So I have to do this. and I hope to do it as long as I can. Nice to meet you.
He's always been there for me every step of the way. And, you know, I try to model my life after that for my son and my daughters.
He's a great guy, you know. He's raised 6 kids. He came from nothing. He was a paper boy. He's the only one in his family to go to college.
Confident, strong, smart ass.
I've always thought my dad to be a superstar, superhero, super dad.
You know, conceited.
Audie is a great guy. Anybody who's met him and gotten to know him, he's a quality person, a stand-up guy, the type of people that people really respect.
Mostly probably self-worshipping.
He went out of his way to make our lives so much better than his was growing up. And it's, you know, you don't realize it until you're out on your own and you realize how tough life really is.
He loves to kid around. You can literally say half the stuff that he says is true because the other half he's just making it up just to get a reaction.
He asked me to pull his finger on an airplane once. But instead of just, you know, going through with it, he stood up and bent over in the airplane. And this was quite a small plane.
A body in motion is going to continue in motion. And I think, you know, thank God he's figured it out years ago and he's still trucking along. But right now I'm 28 and I thought, God, my knees hurt and my elbows hurt, my shoulders, I'm gonna die soon. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, dude, he doesn't even take Advil. He takes nothing. And I'm like, I have to take 5 Advil to get out of the bed. I'm 28. That's not good.
Everything he does, he goes hard. He doesn't stop. You know, he just can't get to this level. He has to be at the top of everything.
The world all revolves around you.
Well, hey, what
It all revolves around me. Audie Hollis.
No.
Audie Hollis.
The world doesn't, but I am the center of the universe.
Okay, well, same difference.
I grew up on the north side of town, which is a relatively poor side of town, and so we were relatively poor growing up. But we didn't know it because everybody around that neighborhood was the same way. Nobody in our family had ever gone to college, and so my whole goal in life was to go to college. I was able to accomplish that in 4 years and, you know, put myself through college, and then, you know, was able to get married and, you know, had a wonderful wife and had 6 great children, and now I've got 12 grandchildren. Through all the years, you know, I was very involved in sports as a young man. Then once I got about 30, I quit playing all sports because of the kids and wanting to train them, coach them, go to PTA meetings, recitals. Life quit being about Audie and started being about others. And so I did that for 20 years, and then it's amazing. You do all this stuff and you go through life, and all your energy and all your focus is about your family. And then you wake up and they're all gone. You're sort of like, gee, I'm back to me again, you know? And so what do? We feel like we're passing through life and we're going through stages. And, you know, these next stages, you see these next stages coming. All of us have parents that are, you know, they're 80 or 85. Most of us have lost one parent or two. And so we've all experienced that. Like when my father died 3 years ago, man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And yet we were close, but we didn't spend an appreciable amount of time together. But I always knew that no matter what happened in life, the one guy that's going to support me is my dad. He's always going to have my back, and I'm always going to be his boy. And then when that goes, it just hits you like a ton of bricks. You know? Thankfully, my mother's still alive. Now, she's the same way. I mean, she'll always have my back, but, you know, we can see that she's not going to be here forever. And then it hits you, the next generation, the next 20 years is us. My life was knocking along pretty good, and I really enjoyed my life, and everything's going fine. And then 28 years into my marriage, our marriage broke up. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was just totally in love. Through the circumstances that we had, I ended up having to raise 6 kids, with the youngest being 9. You know, I had a 9, 11, a 13, a 15, a 17, and a 19. When you're family oriented and that blows up, you're just devastated because you don't really understand it. It hits you so hard. There was about a 2-year period there that I was just totally devastated. I wasn't even the same guy. I've always been an upbeat, you know, life's good, you know, the glass is filling up, it's not going down. That's the only time I've ever been depressed in my life. The only time that chemically in my brain I didn't think right.
My mom left physically and my dad left mentally.
He's, you know, always motivated, always pushing us, do better, do your best, be your best. And to see him at his lowest, I mean, I think that was the first time I ever saw my dad cry. You know, to a kid, your dad is Superman. He's a superhero. He's this big, burly, muscular guy, you know? So yeah, to see him at his lowest point, it was devastating. It affected all of us.
I saw my mom, I saw my dad, and no one could touch them. I mean, to me, they were a king and a queen. They were not going to be broken apart. It almost was like he just disintegrated. His body was weak, he was weak, his confidence was gone. I mean, he failed. And it took him a while to pull through it, but it was one of the biggest mountains he climbed personally, and we were following right behind him, you know, just pushing, or maybe not pushing, but just watching as he was getting through it, you know?
I always looked at people that had a problem in their life that they couldn't handle, particularly if it was something to do with depression, as being weak. And I always looked at things black and white. And then after going through that period of time in my life, for about a 2-year period where I was super depressed, I began to realize that it's not a weakness. You can't control it. You just physically can't control it. You can't control those emotions of how you feel. And you don't really want to talk to anybody about it because you feel like you're a failure. You feel like you failed your family. And even though you're maybe not at fault, that's the way you feel. And so you don't want to brag about that. You don't want to go out and explain that to somebody. You don't want to talk to somebody. You want to shield people from that. And so you put on the face that, hey, everything's fine. But inside you're dying. From that point, you know, after a couple of years, then my life had turned around, you know. Christine Lee came into my life and changed that so that I was looking forward to life rather than down. But here's the big thing about that. It really showed me where I was so judgmental to other people that I couldn't be anymore. Now I understood. When somebody was hurting, I can empathize with them. I had one good friend that's son was killed. And, you know, we're at a tournament, and he gets a call that his only son, his only child, has been killed. And man, you know, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. But I knew I couldn't stay at that tournament. I had to go with him. And I had to go back and be with him, because, you know, this is a bad time in his life. And that was 5 years ago. Even today, it still affects me, and in not a good way. You know, and I'm just so thankful not to ever have something like that happen to my family. But it just changes your heart on people. It changes the way you look at people.
Life is a series of chapters. And when one door closes, God's got another chapter waiting for you. And he sits back and waits to see if we ever figure out what that next chapter is. And once in a while, as a person ages, they believe that and they live that. And they stay young. And they figure out something new that they love to do. And every one of these men do that. They've all had different chapters in their life. And this chapter of 60 and over, world class, going around, inspiring people with what they can do, but most importantly, giving back. What they did in the Dominican Republic, etc. Priceless. And they teach us that's the way to live. And they're the happiest people.
So much more than just it's a softball game. You know, these guys are going to make a community better with the whole giving concept. I don't think anybody out there compares. I don't think anybody's doing what they're doing. I mean, for Team Hollis to have embraced the possibility of bringing a Dominican kid of poor resources in the Dominican Republic over here to the States to have an education and to have a future, a chance at that, you know, that alone sets them apart. It's something that, who else is doing that?
I said, well, I wonder if they got softball down there. And so I get connected with a guy with softball. All of a sudden, we've changed people's lives because we built wells in the mountain for them. I never thought in a trillion years I'd ever build a well in a mountain in the Dominican Republic, because I have 2 boys from the Dominican who are living with me, which is unbelievable. And none of that was planned. Have a good day, man. What does that mean? Hey, say, hey.
What?
Huh? What did he say?
He said, see you later.
Oh.
Well, I think Raphael had a big part in this, because had Raphael not starting Giving Feels Awesome and collecting equipment up at Pizza Gallery, Ed never would have known about this, most likely.
The gentleman, Rafael Nunez, told me about this movie called The Player. And I watched The Player, the movie, and if you have a chance, watch it. It tells you about what happens down in the DR. I watched that and I thought that these kids are being taken advantage of. So that was in the back of my mind. And I said, you know what I'd love to do is give a young man a chance to come here and go to school. So I told him, I said, if you found a boy that was a good athlete, because I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not going to teach him in geometry, I can hire tutors for that. So I got down there, and sure enough, Raphael had a friend that had a son, a little skinny boy, about 130 pounds, and we ended up bringing him over here, and it was a unique experience. We never thought out the whole process, and we never thought our granddaughter would say, oh, you're replacing me. No, we're not replacing you, honey. And I think it was my coaching was not over with.
I mean, you think about Dionis coming from the DR and getting the opportunity over here. I mean, you're talking about changing family trees here. I mean, Dionis gets over here, gets an education, could start a business, could go make a 6-figure income. I mean, the world's changing. He's bilingual. I mean, so many just from really the sport of softball.
That little Jersey boy that grew up running them streets was responsible for people from another country changing their lives. And what will those 2 young men do to change other people's lives? If that's not a legacy for my family to learn from, when my grandkids look at that from the correct perspective, you know, they're already special people, and what are they going to do?
It was an amazing experience yesterday when we arrived here. We were greeted by all the townspeople, the mayor, and a lot of people, a lot of wonderful young people who showed some of their cultural dances and the music for us. It was just amazing. They welcomed us to the city. They had all of the Little League teams here. It was an amazing, amazing experience.
play guys from 17. I think the youngest guy is 17, the oldest is 50. And we got a couple of our guys, our Dominicans, that are living in the States with us, and they're playing with us, and they're 16. So, and our oldest guy is, I think, me, 68. So we're fixing to take on the young boys and see what happens, and let's go get them.
You know, we're going to keep it in perspective. We're here to be good ambassadors, be good sports, but we're going to be competitive as we can be. There's some good players over here.
I just went over there, and you know, Raphael wanted me to tell me that we're going to beat them, right? But I used American logic. Guys, you're going to beat us by 50 runs. You all look like you should be in the major leagues, man. Just take it easy on us old people.
There you go.
Now we go show 'em.
That's right. The managers, they were like, this was such a huge deal to them, you know, that we would travel there. And they made the speech that the major league players are from here. They have tons of money. They don't do anything, especially for the small town. I know everybody, hundreds of people went to Dominican Republic, to the resorts on the ocean. I don't know anybody who's went to Nagua. They really warmed up to us. I don't think they knew what to think at the beginning. I gave a kid a bat, and he just put his head down, and I asked Raphael if he was all right, and he goes, yeah, he's overwhelmed.
The concept is simple. It's connecting the haves with the don't haves. There's a lot of things we discard in our houses, a lot of things that pile up in our garages, in a room, in a closet somewhere, and somebody's expecting it, somebody has a use for it. And rather than selling it or throwing it away, connecting those people that need it with those that have, and making it happen, creating that connection, not letting it go to waste, and having people be very grateful for receiving it.
You know, in the last 2 years, we've, you know, gone into the charity thing. We've loved it so much, and we've got so much return from it, and that's kind of where it's heading from now on. You know, we have this organization that is more than softball. Just like Extra Innings, it's more than softball. It's about, you know, getting old and getting old gracefully.
First impression, you're like, he's crazy, he's just out of control, and is there a mute button on this guy?
He's a f***ing one of a kind. He's definitely one of a kind. But bottom line is that guy will give you a shirt off his back, and I don't know that many people like that.
Yeah, I thought he was a nut. And, you know, I've grown to really love this guy, you know. He's got his game face on, and some of us do.
I tell you something. You know, you want somebody standing in your corner. That's the man you want standing in your corner. It is truly what you see is an act.
Oh, what?
I would describe him as very intense, very driven, very passionate about softball and things that he really enjoys doing. His family as well.
Mean.
He is absolutely crazy. He cares a lot about everyone, and he does everything to help others.
Mean.
I love him one day, next day I hate him.
He's not really mean. He just, everybody thinks he's mean. He's softy.
Again, intense. He is very intense. Probably too intense.
Meaningful to us, the team, particularly.
Is he trying to take credit for all this thing? It's the man. I'm the man behind the plan.
I remember him always like auditioning for like reality shows and things. He always wanted to like his voice to be heard.
I don't know what this fascination with him is about the reality show. He got a couple of interviews for Survivor, and some of the videos he did to get on some of these shows were a little different.
You know, a lot of times people that are, you know, are loud like that don't have the game to back it up. But when he has the game to back it up, you know, that puts him in a different category. And I think to continue to do what he's doing, you know, closing in on 68, 70 years old, yeah, I think it's pretty impressive.
That's why I'm hated by half the country. You know why? Because we win most of the time.
And I think there are a lot of people lately, in the last probably 10 years, that have come around and said, I never knew the real you. I always thought you were a real jackass. And I hated you.
I was a street kid from New Jersey. Father died when I was 12. Never cried at his funeral. You know, when you're in New Jersey, you don't want to cry much because, you know, where I lived, you had to be tough. And unfortunately, I developed a fight or flight that everybody has. Well, you know, my deal was fight.
You know, I don't think growing up we said, I love you a lot, but we loved each other. You know, he showed it in different ways.
He was gone a lot. He missed a lot of birthdays, a lot of holidays. He was gone a lot. I mean, he was there as well, but he missed a lot.
I had no idea what kind of dad I was because I had no, you know. Now, you gotta stop for a minute. I didn't have any role model.
My Grammy kind of like raised him, like because he had a tough childhood, and when she passed, everyone kind of just like, we kind of all lost it, I guess you could say, and it was really tough on him.
Grammy has had so much effect on my grandpa, and just the person that he is, you can tell that Grammy helped him become that person. Like he's doing with Dionis and Brian, she did that with him.
You know, my mother-in-law was just a prince of a lady. She was the most giving person. I'm going to try to get through this without, you know, she said, I want to give you something before I go. And I learned that from her. And it was tough. Probably the toughest disease in the world is when you lose your memory. Wow.
When he did my mother's memorial service, he broke down so many times that I don't think anybody could believe it. But it was like she was like a mother to him.
That is a real touchy subject, as you know. But she was a special person. How did it affect me? I wish I could live my life like her, you know, a giving person. As a young man, I dreamed of being a professional baseball player, as do most. I became a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, a guardian of 2 boys from the Dominican Republic. I'm playing with some great athletes, you know, on Team Hollis who give back because they've been so blessed. never dreaming that I would meet the love of my life as a young man and spend 53 years together, and now we're battling cancer together. That's what I call life, and I'm not changing a minute of it.
This team changes you, and in a very, very good and positive way.
If I get hit by a car tomorrow, I think I would be content. Now, saying that, I feel that I'm only in the 6th inning of a 9-inning game, and I've got a long way to go. There's a lot more things I want to do.
The day is a day that it's one you've never seen before, and it's one you'll never see again when it's gone. And I think about that every morning I get up. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm trying to get in the shower, and I'm like, you got to perk up, buddy. It's a good day, man. You're here.
It's incredibly hard for us to do this alone. You have to have someone put their arm around you, someone take the belt and kick you in the rear end.
But I'm going to tell you something. You need to find a passion in your life. You need to find that passion, and it can't always be work. You can go through every cemetery in the world, and not one headstone reads, "Here lies so-and-so. I wish I would have spent more of my life working."
After this, I don't know what he's going to be doing, because I think he's going to play this until his dying day.
You keep going, you keep having fun, you keep living life. It's not done. Being old isn't a death sentence. It's a new chapter. It's a whole new start to life.
I've got less time than I've got money. The money isn't important, the time is important to me now, more than anything that I've got, and I don't want to squander it.
I'm 61. There's a lot of things I want to accomplish that I'm going to accomplish, okay? Lord willing. And now's the time to do it.
What am I doing now? I'm getting ready to go back to Vegas for the three-peat. Will we win it? Really, it doesn't matter, because it's about the journey and not the destination. I wanted to do something never done before, and this is by a 59-year-old guy that's willing to do this, to get a call for the interview. And I'm going to tell you, the interview won't be boring, and if I'll do this for nothing, think about what I'll do as a survivor. Just remember this, folks. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
How in the world we ever found wives that would put up with us,
Come on, Donnie. Hey, how much of that shit you got to bleep?
Okay, kids, look at this. Watch this. We got fire, right? I'm going to show you. What the hell are you doing, man? You about drowning my ass.
My dad would tear us up with that belt. But he said, listen, if anybody ever talks about your mama, anytime, you got my full permission to put your fist in their mouth, and you're not in trouble with me. So I use that quite a bit when I was growing up. That was a good excuse to have. And somebody's talking about mama.
Anybody can lift 100 pounds with one arm. Now, how many people can really do this? If you don't get down after Dr. Oz show, if you don't get down to the health food store before 11 o'clock, all the stuff that he was hawking is gone. And you can look around. This is all Dr. Oz stuff. I can't remember what half this stuff is for. That's a lot of damn weight. What human beings at 68 years old is lifting 100 pounds with one arm? Dave ought to be in the Guinness World Book record. The best way to control your diet is one move in your personal life, and the move is like this. You know what that is? That's pushing away from the table. You know what they say, to each their own. And this is how I roll right here.
Oh, you might have heard the pitch there a little
too flat.
Little too flat. Nope. Another shot hit in the direction of the left fielder Armitage, and he's just going to stand and watch that one go. And boy, it looks like that.